All right, let's start. More people will show up, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ICP Monday, episode number 6 now. My name is Herbert Young. I'm the general manager for Asia Definity Foundation. For those of you who are new to this ICP Monday series, every 2 weeks we organize this Twitter space open forum to have a dialogue with developers and community leaders from the Internet Computer Protocol ecosystem to share the latest that is happening in the ecosystem, to update the latest progress from the R&D organization, from the foundation, and also from time to time we invite guest speakers to come to our Twitter space to talk about some specific topic, such as tonight's topic will be community grants program. And for these Twitter spaces, usually it runs from anywhere between 60 minutes to 90 minutes, or sometimes even. I remember we went all the way to 2 hours, and it will be recorded. It will be uploaded to YouTube as a video, and then eventually everything can be found on the Mora.app, where we have staked our ground as ICP Mondays, an out sort of a publishing platform to make sure for all the new friends coming into ICP ecosystem, there's one place you can find all the history, all the past conversations about the exciting applications and services from ICP. All right, so that's a bit of background. So tonight we gonna have a very interesting event. It's gonna be split into two parts, part one and part two. For part one, I have invited our colleagues from Divinity Foundation, Emilio and Shashi, to share what is the latest progress on the version 2 of the community grants program. This is a highly anticipated program by a lot of us in the community that is really playing an instrumental role in driving our ecosystem growth in the last couple of months. So I can't wait for Emilio and Shashi to share the latest sort of the state of the union of this program, what kind of applications they're looking for, and how they go through what kind of process they go through to select the best around the globe to receive the grant support from Divinity Foundation. So that's whole session part one. We're gonna do that in English. We're gonna go through some questions that our Asia team has selected, received from the communities before this event, and we'll have an open mic at the end of the section, just to give a chance for anyone listener out there to ask our guest Emilio and Shashi question on these Twitter Spaces. Then part two, we're gonna switch into Chinese, where Billing from my colleague Billing from the Asia team will share the latest community events from the foundation and also ICP community around the world and also in Asia, and also let us know what's coming up next. What can we look forward to around different regions. And then Vincent from the R&D team of Divinity Foundation will share, as usual, the latest progress from our R&D team along the roadmap on different major milestones. And last, I think today, Ben, our another colleague from the R&D team, will also join us in a while to help Vincent and all of us to field some questions from the audience. Usually, we got quite a few questions on this call. It can be anyone. If you're running into any issue with the ICP protocol about how to build the application, or any questions about the event, about how you want to get started, whether it's applying to become a node operator, anything that is related to Divinity Foundation or ICP, we're very happy to to talk to you about that and share with you what we know. All right, so that's a bit of a long opening. So without further ado, let's get to the part one of today's ICP Monday event. Uh, let me introduce you my guest tonight. It's Emilio and Shashi from Divinity Foundation. So Emilio, and how about you want to just briefly say hi to our audience here, and then introduce yourself?
Certainly. Thank you, Herbert and Billing, for having put up this to the space. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Today is a special day in Switzerland and in India as well because it's Shashi's birthday. Happy birthday, Shashi.
Wow, that's
Aside,
that is a surprise. Hello, happy
yeah.
birthday, Shashi.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
aside from the greetings, my name is Emilio Canessa. I work at Affinity Foundation. I'm based in Zurich. I oversee a few programs at the foundation. One program is globally the Regional Hubs program, which launched a few months ago. It is expanding pretty rapidly. Actually, every Monday, the Affinity has a tweet dedicated to that, where you can see a lot of incredible activities going on all over the world, from Asia to South America, passing through India and Europe. So it's unfolding pretty well, but that's probably a topic for next Herbert AMA. Together with that, I'm also in charge of the community grant program, which will soon change name. I will explain in a little while. Together with Shashi, which is technically in charge of the program and also the monitoring, the data, the dashboard, and everything else. I would like to spend 1 minute to describe a little bit the framework for today's AMA.
Hey Emilio, maybe hey Emilio,
Yep.
maybe before we go to the framework, and maybe let's also let Shashi introduce himself.
Yes, absolutely, Shashi.
Uh, Thank you first, Herbert and Billing, for inviting us. We are excited about this. Actually, we both are on vacation today, but we thought it's very important for us to get on this call. So that's why we both are here. And thanks again for having us here. We are very serious about how globally in each region, irrespective of giving preference to any region,
Okay.
but in general, how each region has equal opportunity to succeed at any of the programs that we run, and that's the basic ethos here. Quick introduction about me. I'm now 6 months old at ICP, and I've been working closely with Emilio around looking after how do we actually get the adoption of ICP to a different level. And a couple of programs that Emilio already introduced to all of you, the hub program that we launched, and then the community grants program, and all of this that we have been looking for past 6 months. And based on what feedback we have been getting, this seems like we are on the right track. For sure, there are hundreds of things that we should do, but it's in the roadmap. So that's the quick introduction here, and I think Emilio, it might make sense to do a formal context setting of the program itself for the audience, if you think that makes sense.
Yep. Thank you, Shashi. Yeah, Emilio, please go ahead. Sorry for interruption earlier. Please
Um,
go ahead.
no, absolutely, it's absolutely fine. This is how AMA should look like. So, for context, we just concluded the trial phase of the new community grant program. We started 4 months ago, something like 4 months ago, or 5, trying to rebuild the program from scratch and trying to address few issues that has caused in the past the fact that the program was kind of suspended for a little while. So far, everything has gone pretty smoothly, and it's very important to highlight few kind of values that this new program has, maybe compared to the old one. First, because many members of the IC community worldwide were used to a different kind of approach before, where the grant program was seen as a support for ongoing operation, and most of the time operation that would happen either within the ecosystem or with a very strong what we call IC objective in mind. Now, one of the goal of the goal of the program is to try to do what we call at Affinity to break the bubble. So try to expand a little bit the reach, the influence, and the adoption of the internet computer blockchain. So that's really the starting point for this conversation. Second, before a certain degree of delay was experienced in the whole process, the application was pretty straightforward, uploading a file and that's it. But then certain people were, waiting for months for an answer and stuff like that. So we thought a new process should have been put in place. That is why we decided to switch from Submittable to Airtable, which is a better tool. Also, we noticed that there was a little bit of lack of transparency before, so we decided to go for an open format. In fact, the application is handled on a document which is completely open and is more of a place where the grant manager and the grantee communicates rather than submitting something and waiting for a hey, yes or no after a few months. Last thing I would like to highlight, not last one, but last big one. We have become extremely keen on metrics and measurables at the foundation. So we have designed the program in a way that is at any time measurable through a dashboard that Shashi is working at together with other colleagues. But not only that. So the program is designed to become more and more open to the community. There was a blog post together with the announcement of the trial phase at the beginning, where we highlighted 3 phases. Phase 1, there was supposed to be a sort of a test to run things and collect feedback. That's why this AMA is particularly appropriate at this stage, because we are about to launch the program. And in the phase 1, a committee of 5, let's say, was put on top of reviewing decision and stuff, but we are enlarging it. There is a plan of introducing 1 or 2 members from the community, and for phase 2, and in a long run, this is more of an idea than a plan, so don't write it down. But we do not exclude the possibility of the program to become more decentralized with a DAO or something like that. One last thing as well, we introduced tracks that are articulated on 3 levels. There is a lower level, let's say for initiatives that are up to $5,000, a second level up to $15,000, and a third level up to $25,000. These are the high-level parameters on which we have been working, receiving application at all the 3 tracks, which at the moment are content, events, and education. Education for us means either to dev or devpreneurs. Let's say everything else should fall into content. And we're adding 2 tracks for the next phase. We're adding the more lean and simple influencer track, and another track called fellowship, which we will present soon. Shashi, did I miss something here? Or
No, you have covered everything. I just wanted to, if it is okay, to just say there are 3 keywords, which is the ethos of Web3 also, and we wanted this grant program also to be like that, at least in the long run for sure. One is decentralization. How do we decentralize it? As Emilio said, that slowly we'll have more people from the community in the part of the decision making process. And how do you make it permissionless? And why I say this grant is permissionless, because if you match the KPIs, the bare minimum KPIs required has been made public. If you go in the KPI sheet, you can also see the decision matrix. I'm not sure how many of you have looked at that. This says that on what basis the decision will be made, and then there is a. It's not like, okay, the participant is left at deep end, but the participant is supported through and through, as Emilio said, through our grants managers to actually deliver a near perfect application with the best chance. Obviously, the final decision is with the grantee to decide what they want to write in their grant application, but we always suggest best practices. So it's permissionless, it's decentralized, and we want it to be also transparent. So these three keywords is the basic pillar of this. As of now, we are able to arrive at a decision for each grant that comes in our funnel under 4 weeks, with few one or two outlier cases where the grantee's documents were logged or the grantees were not communicating with us. It has went little bit ahead of 4 weeks, but more or less like 95% of them has been under 4 weeks, which is a huge achievement in my opinion. And also probably when it comes to community grants, probably one of the few community grants out there in Web3 where the process has been very welcoming, both for the people who are already inside in the ecosystem and both from outside. So yeah, on that note, I think that's what I wanted to add to Emilio's point.
Wow, thank you, Emilio and Shashi, for this great introduction to the version 2 of the Community Grants Program. I think this is really helpful. I remember last year, under the previous, our marketing leader, the previous version of the community program, there were more than 10 different categories of different grants, and then they all have different grant tier, right? Like 5,000 to 25,000. In certain cases, even more than 25,000. And remember, in those days, Bidding and I, we were just pulling our hairs like, wow, this is really difficult to evaluate. So I think one thing, if I may add for our audience here, what is the difference between the old the legacy program and the version 2 is a lot more simpler, a lot more simpler. I think besides the three pillars that Shashi just mentioned, which I really like, decentralization, permissionlessness, and being transparent. It's just a lot more simpler. I think a lot easier for community leaders or Web3 enthusiasts to embrace and adopt. So kudos to Emilio and Shashi, and it's great to see this new program. So maybe I just want to
Herbert, 1 minute,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
allow.
sure.
It might make sense also, like this is also not only Emilio and me, there is two to three more members who are been very active, like Clement from the community, whom has been actively helping all the event applications and actually helping them figure out how do you actually help the community members.
Yeah, it's been a larger
looking into
effort.
Just wanted to
Jamming
highlight
in,
that.
designing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shruti and everybody.
designing this has been yeah,
Just don't wanted it to sound like
really.
Emilio's and Sasi's effort. It will be. I don't think it will be good. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it's important to understand that this thing, they really touch every angle of possible angle and department at the Web3 Foundation. Legal was extremely helpful, helping us, revising the whole contractual documentation, and support team was extremely quick and put in the handbook on our support page. lot of effort on the KYC side and stuff. There has been a lot of thinking done together with multiple colleagues at the foundation, the marketing team, and stuff. So the content team has helped writing the blog and the web page. The design team quickly put up let's say a speedy new version of the web page, which is still kind of not the final one, but yet a very good job. So putting this together really was what we call a teamwork around here. So kudos to everyone.
Wow, thank you, Emilio and Shashi, for that addition. I was going to ask the exact question. I know some colleagues from the foundation were also involved, and I want to have this opportunity to call them out and I really thank them for this effort. But so we have Clement and I think William from Fast Block also involved as well.
Yes, there's a few members in the committee. Each one is taking care mostly of different tracks rather than different region, because we think it's very important to have professional, relating to applicants when it comes to their plan and their application. Definitely, yes. William being one of them, and others is when it comes to a program like this. It's really a lot of people are involved. Finance for disbursements and operations in the US. So it's really wide, the range of colleagues that are putting effort here, aside from the committee and the manager themselves.
Got it. Yeah, that's really great to hear, Emilio. That I think such a comprehensive program will require nothing less than the all team effort to make this happen. I was just reading the handbook for the new I think the support team published to introduce the community grants. Yeah, it's very comprehensive. It's a lot more comprehensive than the previous legacy program. So I think I'm hoping a lot of our grantees who are applying for the new program or who have tried to do so in the past, they will feel the same. This is a very comprehensive handbook. So great job there, Emilio.
Thanks a lot. So the point is that our philosophy is to really try to empower this kind of bottom-up movement around the internet computer. So it's very important to give as many instruments as possible for people to understand what's the best way to propose themselves as at the end as advocates or supporters or contributors for the World Computer Mission. And we thought that having a comprehensive handbook would have been a good idea. Of course, improvements are on the line, and we already have shortlisted few one. But definitely, we're here to collect feedbacks and to make it better. I want to reiterate that what we did until now has to be considered as the trial phase. We're entering now in a week or two, I guess. Second phase, yet it's still business as usual with the current application and even the new ones. We receive plenty every week. But yes, for sure, we'll use this session also to make further improvement to the webpage, to the document, to the Medium article, to the name. I can mention that there was a contest. Many of you will remember the contest for the name, which will be changed. The community has chosen a different name for the program. Will be called Web3 Community Program. The winner of the contest was a Twitter account named Kenny Boy, which
Kenny Boy. I think.
Yeah, he was the winner.
I think Kenny Boy was he Kenny Boy from NYC, I think that, or Tiger King, also known as Tiger King.
Oh,
I think he's on
yes,
the, I
yes.
think he's on the Twitter Spaces.
Well, it's also incredible that we thought it was like a poll on run-on district, and we received about 100 submission. We shortlisted 5 or 6, and then community voted again, and at the end he was the winner. So the new name of the program is going to be Web3 Community Program, chosen by the community, actually, chosen by
That's very
Kenny.
nice.
All right.
That's
I think
very nice.
I can get handling back to you, Robert.
Yeah, but thank you, Emilio. So we do have a list of some questions from the community. I think that where in certain areas, I think the community can use some additional clarity,
Yes.
or guidance to understand how to leverage this great program better. But before we go into that, I just have for myself, I just have 2 more questions. One is you were just mentioning that, Emilio, about the phase 2. So at a very high level, what are the how is phase 2 going to be different from phase 1? I think you mentioned about the name change. There'll be 2 additional tracks for the fellowship and also for influencers. So are there any other changes from phase 1 to phase 2? Could you share a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So first of all, the one you mentioned, an enlarged committee, 2 new tracks. There is a third one pending, so 2 or 3 new tracks. Good news for the audience. The fund related to community grant for phase 2, of course, will be larger than the trial. No needed to say that. These are the main. These are the 3 main changes for phase 2. So more tracks, and large committee with possibly member from our community, and a larger let's say cap on the fund.
Oh, that's great. I think that's really, music to the ears for a lot of us, and also sounds very reasonable as we progress, as we evolve from V1, phase 1 to phase 2, and we'll be able to give out grants collectively, even at a greater amount. That's going to help the entire ICP ecosystem. I think to stay vibrant, as you said, to bring in additional influencers and break up the bubble and to extend our influence in other ecosystems. Which brings up to my next question before we go into the the list of questions from the community. That is, I want to take this opportunity just to take a step back and tap into the industry experience from both you and both of you. I think you and I, we've met many times over. I think that Shashi, I don't think we've met yet, but both of you have a lot of experiences in the crypto industry, from working with other organizations, working in other foundations. I think for Shashi previously. So I was thinking, from what you guys can see around the industry, like how does our current the V2 of the community grants program, how does it compare against the similar program from other ecosystems? Anything that you can share with us, I think that's going to be very interesting for all of us as well.
I think we can both reply here. I'll take the first part, and then Shashi will take the other one. So on one hand, for this V2, we have decided to raise the bar a little, and also kind of get inspired a little bit by what we call industry standard. So we've done definitely research, and we also kind of know what's going on in different ecosystems. But the choice was to design the program in a way that will add more compared to what's going on actually in different community program around the ecosystem. Few highlights has already been touched a few minutes ago. I can mention the transparency as definitely something that, to the best of our knowledge, is not going on that much in other ecosystem, in a way that really the initiative is kind of babysit, and we hand walk the applicants into trying to make the most of the plan, but the process is completely transparent and continuous. So this is definitely a different. More on a technical perspective, Shashi can add something more for sure, also because of his previous experiences in other very relevant protocol. Shashi, you want to add something?
See, yes, thank you, Emilio and Hubbard. Very good question. See, the idea is, first of all, one should understand why people develop a community. What's the need of the community in this, right? And it goes with, and as the protocol evolves, there is a different type of community that is needed. That doesn't mean that the people who are already there shouldn't be there. While we take along the veterans and people who are there, but there is a different type. Like you evolve from a tribe to a village, if you're aware of that concept, and to a city, to a metropolis, like that, right? And what I have seen is, after the initial thing, once the community grows to a certain extent, the way community is treated is like service providers. And how do you change that? How do you change where the community is? It's not like the foundation is giving the direction and the community is going around based on the direction. How do you make it outside to inside, right? If you want to consider the foundation as inside, although we are a part of the same circle, if you ask my philosophy around this, where every dot is at equidistance from each other. But how I see this is, so what this program eventually does is gives the power in the hand of the community, that where is the aspirational goal to develop this entire program is based around adoption of ICP. If you go through the handbook, if you go through the proposal template, right there we have said the core purpose of this program is to increase adoption of ICP in terms of, and what do we mean by adoption is simply getting new users or getting new developers or getting new projects, that's all, or getting new VCs. And I'm not meaning investor here, but VCs. Not like token investors, and so this program actually, compared to other programs, there is actually very transparent. It gives you actually on what parameters and in what direction this should go. Point number one, and the second thing it does is, see, the easier part of the funnel is giving grants. The tougher part of that funnel is making these grants successful. Now, how do you upskill the community if needed? So in this program, after you are given a grant, you actually receive a very formal invite from us to join the grantee community, which we have built, and where each grantee, again, is given a clear roadmap, like, okay, how do we track each other, what parameters we are agreeing on, and everything. And then grant manager is not like your boss, but your running mate, if you understand the difference. It's like your running mate who is helping you to succeed for the grant and also being human around it. There is 100% empathy here, when it means like, okay, you have agreed for a KPI together, and the grant manager sees that, okay, these XYZ support are needed and we provide all the support, and still something is still, it's 80% covered, and then it's okay. If there is enough effort of trying this, we all are learning in this process together, right? So the idea is for community members to succeed, because it's a win-win for everybody. If the community members succeed, the ICP succeeds. We sees this way. It's not that service provider relationship. Hey, here is two bucks, go do this. Here is $5. No, we are inviting the community to become creative around this, while we also ensure that the call to actions, everything is driven down the funnel. There is always a next step to the grant program. So answering Hobbart's question in short, I think, again, going back, it's the decentralization, it's the permissionlessness, and it's the transparency, which right now, and it's open secret, go to other community forums and you will see, while there is a technical part of this transparency where some grants program are doing it on chain, but how are you supporting the community to do this? Like I can give you, like, right now on what I just saw is, out of all the applicants that we have approved, 14 of them are applicants who have already got some grant in past grants program through us, and 17 are people who are new to the community, or probably at least getting the grant for the first time. And that data itself shows that we are not leaving the people who are there saying, oh, now we will go find new people because we don't need you anymore. We need everybody. So that's the difference. Normally I have seen community being deserted and new communities being formed. This program is not about that, at least.
Wow, that's really, thank you, Emilio and Shashi, for sharing that insight. I think this is really the most important thing for all of us as we enter into the year 3 of our ecosystem building, is to bring in more developers, bring in more community members to join IC. So we need to leverage what we got, which is we have 2 programs, for those friends who are new to ICP. We have developer grant program, and now we have community grants program, that even if you're not a coder, but if you are a content producer, you are an educator, evangelist, as the 3 categories that Emilio mentioned earlier, you can still contribute, and you can contribute in a very meaningful way to the growth of the IC ecosystem, with a global standard that is, from what I can tell, pretty transparent on the website. So yeah, I really like that.
Hubbard, also, just to add one point, the idea is also that and there is also something that happened in a lot of communities where there is a lot of entry barrier for someone new to enter the community. So how do you actually make a level field for existing community members to grow and support the thing, and their interests safeguarded, at the same time some new person, because everybody is new at some point, if they were, so even people who in that journey joins late, they have equal support and equal opportunity to contribute, depending if they match to the level of KPIs and everything that we have given. So that is the basic idea. So it's not like we are pitting one against other and we are preferring one against other, but it's basically how do we onboard everybody together, and as people are onboarded, nobody needs to jump the ship. The ship keeps growing bigger.
Yes, and this is very important, because at the stage where we are now, it would have been easy to say, okay, now we need only big shots for events, only big shots for hackathon, big shots for content and educational stuff, because we need to grow, we need to explode at the moment, and we will. But everybody has a level, an entry level, which is suitable for the initiative in terms of support, but also in terms of requirements and KPIs. We have noticed, of course, that the higher the value of the track, and people are naturally driven toward that, but it's completely normal. But sometimes we suggest, hey, based on your team, based on the extent of the initiative, and based of the application, why don't you try maybe a lower track for the beginning? That might be very successful, and then in the future we will discuss maybe once the grant is completed in another track. Something that is happening, because actually this is still a little bit of learning by doing. Maybe a grant start in a way, and then it can even be restructured at a certain point, because either it goes in another direction, or instead of I don't know, 2 single big things, it turns out that it's better to do 4 smaller things. So when it comes to this, on the other side, you don't find somebody telling you, hey, no, this is what you wrote, this is what we approved, and now you have to do it. Actually, most of the time it's happening in a couple of cases. It gets restructured accordingly to also to the and mostly to the ability to deliver that the applicant has shown. So maximum flexibility is also something that I don't really see happening around Web3 and around grant programs.
Yeah, thank you, Emilio. I think that's very important for a successful program to have a very measurable KPIs or goals that everyone can adhere to. I think one challenge in the previous version of this program was it was very difficult to evaluate, whether the event was executed, it was meeting the goal, because there was no goal. So I'm happy to see that now we have very clearly defined goals for all different tracks. All right, I think thank you, Shashi, thank you for answering some of my questions. Hopefully that will be helpful for the audience. And we do have a list of some questions from the communities. I want to just go over them together with you guys. I think some of them are actually going to pretty specific, level of details. Also showing, the tremendous interest from the communities for this new program. So let me just, in no particular order, let me just start with them one by one. The first one is, okay, this one says, with regards to the Accelerate KPI for engagement rate of 250,000 views for video. Like, I guess this question is about, the video content. So the question is, it is for one video, or it is for, all the videos, say 10 or 20 videos together, and over like how long a period? Is it for over a month, a year, or maybe some clarity on this 250,000?
Yes, absolutely. I will start as usual, and then when it comes to more specifics about the KPI, I can handle it to Shashi. Well, first of all, we're talking of the biggest track, which is the Accelerate track, and the KPI has to be intended as comprehensive. It can be it can be the biggest influencer in Web3, and that will probably be one video, or it can be a series of 10 video for somebody that has a lesser engagement. And in terms of the period, usually grants should be completed in 3 months. That's our sort of at least at the beginning deadline for completion. Was that answering your question? Sashi, you want to add something?
You are right. There's nothing more to add. Just like, see, as I said, the power is in the hand of the applicant. So the maximum period is 3 months. If we have got applications where not for 25K, but for smaller tracks where people just want to do 1 week project and they are hitting the KPIs, and we are okay with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we want this to be simple. So if somebody gets 250K, and there is a logic around this, if you see, it's a funnel to see that, okay, how many, if we give $25,000, and this is if you see the KPIs, there is, while these KPIs are written, there is in row number 6, there are some other conditions that needs to be met, and I would like to read this for everybody. The conversion rate mentioned above is bare minimum, and one is expected to go beyond this. So the conversion rates that we have written here, so if you do 255K views, That's just to ensure that, because we have received also, and that's why we have done it in the first, like somebody is saying I will do 50,000 views and I will get you the KPI, and that's preposterous, right? It doesn't happen. Like you won't have like 20% convergence on the videos, no matter how big. Actually, if you are a bigger influencer, your conversion rates are smaller, and if you are a smaller influencer or video content creator, your conversion rates are high because the audience is very niche. It's all industry standards around this. So this conversion rate, actually 250K is the bare minimum. We are expecting people to go beyond this. If you are applying for 25K, the conversion rate can go up to 10%. So some, because we are designing it for every type of content, right? And every type of CTA. Here, the main aspect is because the grant is focused on users, getting new users or getting new types of personas like developers, projects, and all. So the conversion rate of 1% is bare minimum. It can go up to 10% if somebody uses a different type of CTA. Like if somebody says, so it depends upon the toughness of the CTA, and somebody can say, can you advise us what are the CTAs? We deliberately don't want to, because it's then we are constraining the innovation of the community. And we have seen this working. Like now we are almost like 100 applications in, and we are seeing that people are coming with very innovative ways of CTA. We saw one grant applicant coming up in the first week after the grant, after they started working, hey, this is not possible. And we, as I said, we gave them a couple of examples. We helped them figure out what was the issue with their funnel. And last week they came back and they have almost actually achieved, and that was a 25K grant, almost 70% of their KPI already in a month. And we are working to help remove issues around that. So yeah, this is basically around this. And the last thing that I wanted to read around is for written content, the conversion rate will vary on type of the content. So obviously we can't have same conversion rates for blogs and Twitter posts. Like somebody will say, okay, for $25,000, I just need 10,000 views or impressions on Twitter, and 0.25%. That's 25 people, and I get 25K. No, it doesn't work like that. If you're doing a Twitter post, then the conversion will be different, and that's completely written right there. I'm not making these up. If you see the document, it's already there. Hope this answers this question, Hubbard.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Shashi and Emilio. Yeah, this clarity is much needed. So because we do see some members of the community that they really.
So what we will suggest, we will invite through.
Okay, this is helpful.
We will suggest
into the next question
about
how the KPIs are set.
Hubbard, what we will suggest. Hello, there was a lag. What I will suggest is, for everybody, don't worry, just apply, and we will help you through, as long as you are applying in our format. If you don't apply in our format, then we'll request you to apply in the prescribed format, and we will help. We will help you through. Sorry, there is a lag, I guess. But what I was trying to say is, hello, can you folks hear me? Is it audible?
Yeah, Shashi, we can hear. We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what we are trying to say here is, just apply. Don't worry about the KPIs. It's okay if it is not making sense to you. We will, once you apply and once your application is in the system, we will help you through this. We will guide you what is the right grant track for you, what is the based on your content or your how big is your account or events or whatever, and we will also guide you through the KPIs. And this is not an exception that we will make for any specific community, regional community. Globally, that's the standard process. So don't worry about the KPIs, as long as you are putting your best effort to make this application proper based on your best understanding, and we are happy to then take you and support you. So nothing to worry about the KPIs.
Got it. Got it. We'll make sure we reiterate this message at the end of our session. Just don't worry about the KPIs. Just apply. We're gonna help you. I think that's a very important piece of
Yeah,
message.
yeah, but
We
but
need
but
to get
you
across to the
but
community.
emphasis that don't put like your own decks and all, then it will be rejected. You or at least requested to like put our prescribed format. As long as you follow the same template that we have asked you to fill in, it won't be rejected. We'll support you through.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Tashi. Let's actually this brings up the next question. Is which is can you guys give examples of an influencer or like a YouTuber who has been able to meet those KPIs? Any existing examples where we have already given grants to that you guys can share with the audience tonight?
So Emilio, you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
Um, well, we can't really name them one by one, but yes, there's at least 2-3 cases that come to my mind, to my memory, where people has actually achieved their milestones, and it can be, one is related to podcast, the other one is related to education, and another one is related to content. Soon, part of the new webpage, there will be a section where the grantees will be published, and hopefully also the initiative explained a little bit. We're working on it, similar to what happened for the developer grants, let's say, where it's kind of on the bottom of the page you see who is and at what stage everybody is for the application. But yes, the answer is yes. If you can share some more data, Shashi, that would be helpful. But my answer is yes. We do have
Yeah,
few example
uh,
of people achieving the milestones.
yes, and as Hubbard and everybody knows that this is a new program. So for now, no grantee has completed their entire KPIs. We started end of March, mid of March. So as of now, hopefully soon we will have that data also. But as of now, we are not hearing major concerns. Obviously, there are some issues around, and which is natural. The community is also, especially from the existing folks, the community is also getting used to this kind of thing where KPIs and call to actions, because earlier there was just content getting created and there was, as Hubbard said, there was no goals or anything, right? And we are cognizant of that, and we are taking a special care for people who 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 are already in the community, uh, so that they need to pivot from there, because see, the content or the work that we have been doing till now was great and got us where we are. But as we know, all of us are senior here and understand the industry, it might not be enough to push us to the next level. So together we all have to go through this grind where we change and adapt to the new increased demand that needs to be will catapult ICP to the next level.
Hey, Shasha,
Good.
this is great. Hey, Shashi, this is great. This is a really great answer to this important question. It's great to hear that some of the grantees, even though they're still within the 3 months period, they seem to show good traction, progress along the milestone. That's very that's very comforting to know. Actually, you brought up something really interesting related to another question on the list, where I think one community was asking, what is the plan for the existing community? Exactly as we were mentioning, about the existing community that has contributed in the past. And, as you guys know, a lot of them, they want to continue to do so in the new program. But because of the criteria has changed, the process is different. So some of them, they have met with some difficulty. in applications.
So what,
So any
Hubbard,
comment you want to make on that?
yeah, so instead of me answering this, we have the swap here who has gone through the process. They can actually answer what support they got rather than me or Emilio telling. If they are okay, they can just share like how they felt. And we also collect, once you receive the grant, we also collect feedback. So we have actually got very, very good feedbacks from all the grantees in terms of support. But if swap is ready, they can answer that, how they have received the thing, if that is possible. If we don't have time, it's okay, me and Emilio can answer it also. Emilio, if you want to
Yeah, I
add
can.
something.
I can definitely. Can you hear me?
Yes, Emilio, loud and clear.
I can definitely start, but I'll be happy for the swap eventually to step in and say a few words. So the existing community is amazing. Averagely, being around the internet computer community, it's very engaging, very fun, and even now we're kind of also, I use the word onboarding, but it's not really the right word. We'll see many influencers, many what we call externals actually approaching the community, praising us on Twitter, on YouTube and stuff, reaching out to myself and other colleagues to cooperate. So in general, the field is pretty level for existing member of the community and for, let's say, new and upcoming member of the community. As far as there is an understanding that the goal of the program is to be functional to a little bit of expansions and adoption, and what I said before, break the bubble. Probably I better give a don't here rather than a do. For example, if the goal of the application is to increase your own popularity within the ecosystem, or found your own initiative, and it looks a little bit inner directed or personally directed, and not really matching the spirit of the grants, that might generate a little bit of misunderstanding. But no matter actual member or future member, as long as the values of the initiative are there, as long as you choose the right level for your initiative, and you have a team that is able to deliver, for us, it's really no problem. This is really a leveled field for all the regions in the world, and all IC people and all Web3 people. So no really big deal around it. But let's hear from the swap. Maybe you can give us some insight.
And
Yeah,
while
thank you,
we
Emilio.
yeah, go ahead. So
It,
swap, go ahead, then I'll
it,
just end.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Emilio. Hey, Swab, how are you doing? It's been a while. Welcome to ICP Monday. Would you, your name was called, so would you want to just maybe share with the audience, your experience working with Emilio, Shashi, and the team through this new program? What is your experience so far?
Yeah, happy to chime in. Thanks for having me up, Herbert. Yeah, so for those that you don't know me, my name is Kyle. I'm the founder of the Swap. And yeah, basically from the grant process this time around, it was really kind of relieving in a way, because there's been times where in the past where I put in a grant application and you just kind of just get denied with no meaning behind it, and it kind of wastes a lot of time. So this time around, I've had to work with Sashi to make my grant application stronger. So that way, like, I could get approved. So like there was definitely a lot more care that went into the applications versus like I would say like in the past it'd probably be like 3 to 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of denied. which obviously can feel like a lifetime in crypto where everything's moving so fast. So yeah, that was probably like the biggest difference in the grant process that like I thought was really cool because over our course of being in the ICP community, we've invited so many different teams to go try out the grant process. And this time around, like we've gotten some of our friends that we've introduced to the internet computer to, at least get more of an explanation of why they may or may not be a great fit in the IC, which, or at least for the grant content or education and all that this go around. So definitely made things a lot easier for people to kind of hash things out and make it worthwhile for both sides, because it really has to make sense for the foundation to support it at the same time as well. So it can't just be like a one-way street. So
Thank you,
Ah, thank
Kyle.
you. Thank you, Kyle.
Just to
Thank
add
you.
one last thing here, with specifically at least internally the committee, because the 5-member committee takes all the decision around grants governance and how this program will run. One thing that we all have been aligned on is, especially for existing community members, there has to be special care to ensure that the program, if it matches, and how do we help them match that. So right from the beginning, as soon as we receive application from existing community member, we start conversing, and we start putting that. So there is a special focus on existing community members, because we know that we had this understanding that people will feel whether do I belong here, and we went a mile ahead with all those people without exception to ensure whether it was getting into several calls, which is not in the IC. Sometimes we get on, normally as per mandate, only one call is required. But if needed, several calls or several lines of discussion, several negotiations to ensure that they are still part of this. But obviously, in rare cases, if there is no alignment and nothing, then for sure. But general, and this speaks. 14 grants from existing members got approved. So that's how it is. And by the way,
Yeah,
we didn't
it's
we didn't invite Swap
um,
here to speak. He came on his own, by the way, FYI.
yeah, it's so it's in a way there's 2 weeks or 4 weeks of going around the application are very functional to success. So instead of having the situation that Kyle was describing before, and the first time we spoke on on Zoom, he was kind of pissed, if I can say so, with previous experiences. So we try to use this time to make the application as good as possible. Of course, if the project is out of scope, or if the applicant wants to deliver something that is either not achievable without a certain team, or if the range he has chosen is too high and he insists of wanting, let's say, a higher tier of support, that might lead to a rejection. But instead, the new philosophy is to try to walk the application to a stage where, when arrives to the committee for voting, it's well packed and well prepared for an approval. That's the way we are trying to make this work.
And also for rejection, when we reject an application, there is not an automated mail. We personally write email giving a specific reason to that applicant that why this was rejected, and invite them to fix that and apply again. So it's not like you are rejected and don't apply anymore. So it's like we don't want to lose any single person out there to not to be part of this ICP community.
Well, that's really a lot of new practices that were just not there in the past. So it takes a lot of time, I'm sure, to handle all these. I think it was mentioned earlier, more than 100 applications.
Actually, it
That's
doesn't.
amazing.
It actually, Herbert, it actually doesn't. We have automated a lot of it. And sometime
Yeah.
happy to show you around. Emilio will be happy to show you around how we are doing this internally. But it's actually take very few. Now it's all, half of it is already automated. So we are on autopilot. We are actually managing it very effectively.
Yeah, actually, Shashi, I was going to ask about this question earlier, which is you guys made an interesting decision to switch from Submittable to Airtable. I thought that was quite an interesting choice because I work with a lot of developer grant teams, with Lomesh team, and basically we live our life on Submittable, and Submittable is just really really difficult to use. It's very difficult to automate, very convoluting process to configure. So it's good to hear that you guys feel pretty efficient and be able to run fast with an Airtable based approach. So that's really good to hear. The next few questions, I think I can loop them into one that is has something to do with the non-English members of the community. So it is about the question is about, can the grant application be written, say, in the non-English language, say in Chinese? Because obviously right now all the application forms are in English. So related to that is, and some members also feel that for the non-English speaking applicants, the process seems a little bit complicated. So, anything we can do there, to help the non-English speaking community leaders to adopt this new process. What do you guys think?
I guess I can take this one. Thank you so much. This is a good one. Yes, at the moment, choices have been made to receive application in English language, but for sure, we can even invite the community with a small grant or a bounty to kind of even translate the handbook in Chinese and the application form in Chinese. That wouldn't require a lot of effort. I think at the moment in this, let's call it a still transition between the trial phase and the actual Web3 community program, the best way is to reach out to our amazing Asian team first for guidance, and then we can find a way to at the beginning translate this application in English. In the future, probably will be good to handle it directly if needed in another language. So far, I don't know how many countries we have had applying, but they are really a lot. We consider regions more than countries. We did not experience this barrier, but it's understandable that it's something that should be improved. And I'm happy to collect all the suggestion here from the esteemed member of the community. If someone has ideas or suggestions or strategies, we'll be happy to consider them immediately.
Can I add few data points here?
Yes, Shashi, please.
So we have actually received it from, if I recall it right, more than 76 countries. More than 76 countries we have received application from, and almost all regions from the world. That has been there. The Asian thing, anything east of India, is actually, if I remember it right, third or fourth contributor, the region, to the entire application. What I will invite for sure, it should be in local language and all, but we have to start somewhere. And the idea is to make it completely decentralized over a period of time. So as Emilio said, support from the local team there, and also if somebody wants to translate any of these will be helpful as of now. And I'm sure now with these AI tools available and all, these translations, even in your application, you can write it in Chinese and then translate it and submit it. And I'm sure we have some Chinese speaking members in the review committee. Like if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Emilio, you can speak a little bit Chinese, and then Clement is there who can speak Chinese. So we have some team members who can actually help with this in the committee. But apart from that, we have Hubert and Billing. So we have everybody to support the Chinese community there, and they can support the local people there. All of this is possible.
Yes, for sure we've been trying our best to also to put things up quickly, because the program has been stuck for quite a while in the past. But we can well, at the beginning, improve and make the application smoother for non-English speaking through the Asian team, and meanwhile evaluate options for sure. Can it be a committee member? Can it be the Asian team facilitating with translation and stuff? But definitely happy to bring this to the table starting the next meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Emilio and Shashi, for that suggestion. I think I really, the Asia team, obviously, we look forward to collaborating with you guys on this. We have a lot of excellent communities in Asia. And Dfinity, if you trace very, very to the very early days of Dfinity or ICP, we have deep root in Asia. Whether we are talking about developers, investors, or communities. So we're just trying to figure out what is the best way to help those communities survive this crypto winter, to make sure they can, we are aligned on our goals and objectives here, that they can grow their community, but they can also help ICP, more important than anything else, as Emilio mentioned earlier, to help grow our ecosystem together. So that's language sometimes can be a bit of a barrier, but I think we can, with all these ChatGPT, AIGC tools available now, shouldn't be too much of an intimidating barrier. Just on another, actually, there's another related question about the committee. I think that Emilio was just mentioning about this topic. So the question is, who are the 5 reviewers in this grand committee? I think Emilio, you mentioned a few already, like you, Clement, I guess Shashi. Like what are the rest members of this committee? Is that something we can share?
Well, let me
Emilio,
take this.
Yeah, you take this. I just want to add one context here. I will request that all of this is also written in the handbook, like the entire process, where the application is reviewed by a reviewer who might or might not be part of the committee, and then it goes for committee vote. So I will invite the community to go through, as Herbert said, it's very detailed. All of this detail is there. And then over to you, Emilio.
Well, I didn't inform the rest of the committee that we were about to kind of name them publicly, so I won't go further than this. But just know that we plan to expand from 5 to 7, and definitely it would be a good occasion to put in someone that can also handle different languages. We already handle different languages, from Spanish to a few languages from Eastern Europe, Russian, and etc. So it's not. I don't want to pass the message that this is a English only, speaking committee. I'm myself not English native. I'm Italian. We have received 3 major applications from Italy as well. That they are ongoing. The most famous one being the Federitaly one, famous case for a very high profile partnership with we can say almost with the Italian government itself. So yes, this is the roadmap to to eventually increase to 7, select a couple of members from the community based on different criteria and skill. So we haven't figured out completely the criteria for selection, but it won't be based on so-called popularity in the ecosystem. We would like to maybe evaluate some expertise, mostly in the field or in a specific language or in a specific area. So for these new members to be there and actually contribute to the program and to the cause, because at the end it's work to follow up on multiple application at a time and milestone and stuff. Software helps a lot. The choice of switching to Airtable definitely has helped, but at the end there is a human component involved here. So we will definitely lean toward expertise in choosing the new member rather than maybe popularity in the ecosystem or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think this is Emilio, I think you made a great point there, which is also, I think, very central, I think, to the success of ICP, that is decentralization, right? I think we can, through the selection of the grant committee member, to further decentralize how we make decisions to allocate grants and ICP tokens to different communities in ICP. Obviously, this is a big topic. Our work has been cut out on many fronts to further decentralize how we make decisions, how we move forward. But I think this is definitely, I think, a great step toward the right direction to eventually invite members of the community to participate, to become part of the member of sort of the OSCA committee, so that they can select the best applications that should receive ICP disbursement from the Divinity Foundation. I think that's really important to the long-term success of this program.
Yes, and right now the idea was also to have a sort of rotation for this 1 or 2 external community member. So we will have the chance eventually to see not always and not only the same people involved, to guarantee even more transparency and more community involvement. As I said at the beginning, maybe not everyone was in the space. There is a long-term plan of true decentralization for this program. Now it's a little bit of a long shot. It won't happen, probably not even this year. But just know that in our mind, at least, and in our daily work for this program, we're working in that direction. For possibly one day finding the right formula to truly decentralize this. It can be under a DAO or something like that. But again, it's a long-term roadmap. It's just an idea for now. I won't say don't get too excited, because this program is exciting. But let's see how it unfolds first. But just know that that's ideally the master plan.
Got it. All right, we have I think we overrun a little bit in the part 1 of the nice section, but this is a really great discussion. And then I think for the next few minutes, I want to give the mic to the floor to see if there's any question from our live audience to Emilio and Shashi from this global program community grants. Any questions that we haven't covered so far that you want to just ask them directly? Happy to give the mic to just flag and raise your hands on Twitter. And Billion, has anyone tried to requested to become a speaker? I can. Oh, is that? Oh, Million. Hey, Million. Hey, how are you doing, Million? Million from.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Million from A year.
Hey, hold on.
How are you doing, Million?
Yeah, Hello. Hello, Herbert. Hello,
Hi,
Emil.
Million.
And it's great to connect to you again on Twitter Space. I could remember our meeting in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
I really appreciate it. Actually, I have some questions on you. The first is I have applied for two content grants, and I have already produced quite a lot videos and articles, but I want to know, can this content produced before the application be included in the execution for the grant? Can
Uh,
this? Yeah.
we're aware of that situation. I know that this is something that was done before, let's say in the previous version of the grant, so not strictly related to this version, which is also handled separately financially. So this is a little bit of a tricky one, and it cannot be decided only within let's say the committee of this actual community grant. We will need to discuss a little bit about it,
Okay.
because I know that this was done probably a year ago or a few months ago, and more pertinent to the extent of the previous version of the community grant. So not technically, it's a little bit, it's got a foot in the old program, and probably an application in the new one. So it's a little bit of a tricky one. But happy to jump on a call with Herbert, with Shashi and other colleague to see the
Yeah.
details
Yeah.
about this, because
Yeah.
usually this is not a standard practice. But again, happy to evaluate the situation, Million. Ideally, whatever it's pertinent to this community grant should be regarding application presented after March, when the V2 started. This is the general rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Thank you. And another question is, what's the maximum duration for a grant? I have applied a grant application to translate and explain the government proposals. But the government proposals is not regular. This depends on how many governance proposal raised. So I want to know the maximum duration for grant. Can it be longer than the half a year, or maybe more than much more?
So we are aware, of course, of this proposal, and I cannot answer now because we'll evaluate on the next meeting, which, by the way, is on Tuesdays. So tomorrow we'll have a look at the proposal. It's we'll be back to you soon after, and we'll see if it fits if translating proposal fits the scope of the community grant, because we haven't faced any of such request till now. So let's maybe have a look at it first, and then we'll get back to you, or eventually
Okay.
redirect this
Okay. Thank you.
to the foundation outside of the community grant work.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And the last one is, I have a suggestion. I want to know who the grant community members. Is there any geography diversity consideration? Especially from my perspective, especially for Chinese areas, Chinese speaking users will we think we think is there any definite Asian team can be the members of the community?
So, very interesting question. Okay, if we speak about certain budget or certain attention or certain target per country, we do not have such a thing in place because we kept it more or less global and open. Now, there is a strict control on how the situation unfolds in different regions. We have the numbers. It's actually very well spread. Shashi can add some numbers here. So far, both the application and the approvals are very well spread in the major areas in the world. The way we look at it is mostly, let's say, Southeast Asia, Far East Asia, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North America, South America. These big regions more than countries. To be honest, it's understood that China is, of course, a peculiar case for many reasons. And again, happy to discuss strategies for China. But to reply to your question, we do not have either budgets or targets or specific goals per country around the world. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you.
Can I add something to this?
Please, Shashi.
Yeah. And Million Miles, you have also received an email from us to see that what, as I said, the support is always there. That how do we, what changes to make into the proposal and everything, right? So coming back to the specific question around all of this, as we said right at the beginning, this program is designed to be permissionless, which actually means if the community in China feels that there is need for further growing of the community and adoption, then the community, nobody is stopping the community. And tomorrow, if we receive, like say 80% of the application from China, we are not going to reject those applications if they matches the criteria and everything, because all these came from China. That's not, so we are not controlling the, like, as I said, it's a permissionless thing, so we are not controlling it. So nothing is stopping from the Chinese community to actually apply in more numbers, stick to the thing, engage with us directly or through the Asian team. However, anything is fine, because we want all communities to grow equally. There is no impartiality or no focus as such. When it comes to focus, we are establishing hubs for that, where we want to go deeper into this based on the how the wave of Web3 is moving. But that's a different thing. But for community grants, it's open for all, with level playing field, old, new, everybody. And we have given data around this 90 minutes call now, which actually verifies that it's a level playing field. And so I will invite the Chinese community. Right now we have, I think, a good amount of applications from China, but we can US is leading it, obviously, for obvious regions with highest number of applications.
Hello, Shashi.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
US is leading with, obviously, due to the how US is, with highest number of North America is leading, but nothing stops us from flipping this. We are not controlling this. We are not in control. It might seem that committee is under control. Actually, committee is not under control, because the committee has given, even on what basis we'll decide right up front in the KPI sheets, that each track on what basis the decision will be taken. So the committee is not in the control. Committee is just a facilitator of this. So nobody is stopping.
Yes, Shashi, Herbert. One second. Shashi can give some number of how many application and approval from South America, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, but it's very well spread, and it's very important to understand that the role of the committee is not to express a preference, is only a yes or no, or revise and present next week based on the KPI. When it arrives to the voting, the slide or the sheet presented is the one with the KPI mostly, and a brief description of the initiative. So it's extremely leveled and impartial, regardless of geography or whatever. First, the ground manager makes some work to fit the parameters and stuff, but when it comes to voting, it's really fits the parameters, yes, no, or yes, but we want to see maybe some improvement next week. But it's done on that base mostly, not on let's say personal choices or a personal view of what would be better or not. There is a little bit of discussion, of course, but it's mostly the application that speaks for itself. That's why we are kind of keen on inviting people in producing good applications, because this is almost everything the decision is based on, regardless geography, regardless popularity in the ecosystem, regardless being a huge influencer from another ecosystem or in general in Web3. So, or being a huge event organizer. These are factors that can only lead to a better application for us, and then it's voted based on that.
Cool. Thank you, Emilio, Shasha, and also Million for
Thank
asking
you,
this
thank
great
you.
question. But next, I want to just invite the next speaker from the audience, Shiba Boy. Are you still there, or you just sign
Hey,
out? I think Shiba Boy just okay.
yeah.
Then if Shiba Boy is not available, then Bavash, you're the next one. Hello, Bavash, how are you doing?
Hello everyone. I would like to ask a specific question from Sasi. Like our grant application is rejected due to regional parameters, and as mentioned earlier, that there is no regional parameters around the globe, and things are getting like on the global scale. So I would like to know what specific parameters for the meetups is foundation team looking specifically related to India.
Sure, happy to answer that. See, when we say regional parameters, it means like basically on cost. Say, for example, and I am aware of your application, so I can most of the applications that come through, me and Emilio are on top of it, and other members also. So we mostly remember all of this. So just to clarify, when we say regional, there is no regional wise in terms of like, okay, we'll only give X amount of grant to this region and Y amount of grant to that region. That's what we mean by regional, no regional bias. Or we'll only take content track from India and events track from China. There's no bias around that. That's what we mean by regional. But when we say regional factors, that's different. It means like the cost of doing something in India is different from cost of doing it in China or US. India, China can still be comparable due to like the population and everything, but still there is a difference. So on that basis, your application was not suiting the criteria. Although I remember your application, but we have given exact reason in the response email. And during the conversation we were having back and forth around for quite some time to see what is making sense in terms of unit cost. Because if you see the decision matrix, I will go back to the KPI sheet. One column in the decision matrix is written unit cost. Yeah.
Sasi, one thing, is it quality or quantity? Like if
It's
quality
both.
people are coming in the meetups, it's
both.
not like we can get 1,000 people in somewhere without quality, without any quality. So it's like quality or quantity thing.
So the simple answer is it's both quality and quantity both, and there has to be a balance between both, right? And eventually unit cost. As I said, if you see the decision matrix, there are 4 columns there, and each has different criterias, and we say what goes yes, what goes no, what goes hell yes, what goes complete no. So if you see through this, it's not as simple, but having, if I have to make it simple, it's both. We evaluate things based on, okay, the potential of the like the application in terms of unit cost, like if somebody in that region is asking for X amount of money, and we have the regional data or some other applications already in the pipeline where it's and all of this, right? So that's what. And the second thing is also to see if there is a funnel to further funnel it. And this is a very important point. Even in the proposal, we have highlighted this section, very important, that what happens to your target audience after they have been gone through your program. And if that funnel is not very clear, right? So it's like, okay, we do a meetup, and then what? We do a meetup, and then what? So then that money goes down the drain, right? If there is no funnel to tap that meetup from a call to action perspective and then drive them further down it, right?
Actually, I read the complete document of a grant. It's called their conversion rate. So that conversion rate is that conversion rate is same everywhere around the globe.
As it is written in the KPI sheet where you read this, the conversion rate, and I read it on the call also earlier today, where on this call, where it says the conversion rate can go up and down depending upon various factors. It's written right below that table, if you see. And it can go up and down based on the city.
That is my main question. Like, we cannot onboard like thousands of developers in 2-3 meetups. And that was the reply which I got from community grants team, that you need to have like 1,000 or 500 type people. It is next to impossible bringing 1,000 quality people.
So if you and we can further engage in one-on-one conversation if you want, happy to, but just to make this very clear, the 1,000 developer thing or whatever, right? It depends upon the CTA that you choose, and in your specific case, the cost per developer. There have been events where and it is specific. India has a huge developer community. So the cost, there are 2 factors that were very instrumental in your application. One is unit cost per developer training, point number 1. And second, it was a very small engagement. So these 2 factors, cumulative effect of these 2 factors led to the rejection. While we are happy to, you can apply again, and we are happy to help you through to see if there's something. And we have the India Hub now, and I'm happy to make that connection and figure out how both of you can work together.
Like, I would like to highlight here that in community grant application, a request was made that community ICP Hub India leader should organize a call with me, but he never showed up. This kind of response I got actually. So
I'm aware of that, because I only asked him because we realized they were just getting onboarded. We only introduced you, and then we realized that these people are just, the hub was just getting formed at that time. So then we only started engaging, if you see, because the hub is a new thing. Initially we thought but now they are settled now, and now will be the right time to make that introduction again. So yeah.
I would really, these words of you is really helpful. I would like to contribute. Like, I am contributing for ICP ecosystem from last 1.5 years in India, when there is nothing here about ICP.
I'm aware of this,
but facing these kind of vague rejections are kind of demotivating.
I will strongly suggest that it was not vague. Probably, and I'm happy to further engage, because in our decision it was very clear. It was combination of two things. One is unit cost, and another is the scale of the event.
As you are based in India, you also know the tax implications and other things. I mentioned clearly all in application.
Yeah, I'm aware of.
Considering that, considering that is a big game. Like not this amount of thing is around anywhere in the gold. At global scale.
Sure. So
and
I'm
thanks
aware
for your answer. I'm very satisfied with your answer.
Thank you.
Hi, Herbert.
Thank you, Bhavesh, for
Hi.
raising
Yes,
this.
thank you, Bhavesh. And so our newly launched hub in
really
India is actually running a very
details of this application. So,
yeah. Oh, sorry, we're overlapping a little.
But both
It's we have parameters also based on what this our new hub is doing. So yes, we for India we're kind of really collecting data, and we have an extensive range of information to understand also the parameters that should be applied for events, for hackathons, for boot camps. It's really happening in India for the internet computer. There is a road show in about 20 universities, including IT Roorkee and the major ones going on. Soon regional hackathons and so forth. So my suggestion is because now we have a benchmark there in the region, a positive one for deliverables. Maybe connect with Bandul and the Crusphere ICP hub in India, and you can even get some example of successful operation that possibly will be a very good fit for community grants. To you, Herbert.
Yeah. Thank you, Emilio, for closing this out. I think thank you both Sashi, Emilio, and also Bhavesh for asking this great question. I think this is really a great discussion. We all learn a lot about this phase one, still in phase one, V2 of the community grants program. Looks like it's on a great track. So we can wait to in the coming weeks when we enter from phase one into phase two of this very robust program. So we overran quite a bit in this section because I think there's a lot of great questions out there we need to get through. So we're gonna enter into part two of tonight's session, where Billing will just share the latest activities going on in the IT ecosystem, followed by Vincent from R&D team about the progress on the milestones. And then we have Ben and Vincent to fill some, if we still have some time, some questions from the audience about any development related topics. And we're gonna switch into Chinese. So for those of you, obviously all are welcome. You're welcome to stay on. But we're gonna switch into Chinese, and by the end of the day, OpenAI's Whisper API will make everyone understand what's going on. But thank you, Emilio and Sashi. But this has been a great conversation. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure to be here to listen to community voices. Let's all contribute through different programs, developer grant, regional hub, community grants, to make ICP the preferred choice for developers, for developers, for Web3 crowd, even for enthusiasts from now on in the whole Web3. Thank you very much.
On that great note, thank you everyone for having us. Thank you, Herbert and Billy, for inviting. And I want to specifically thank Bhavesh, Million Miles, others to actually raise the questions. We will request you to keep the feedbacks coming, because that's what makes this program great. It's a program by the community for the community. So let's do it. Thank you again. Have a nice evening.
Before Emilio and Shash, before you guys go, I think there's one more one more speaker from the audience from IQRA Crypto. Hey, you have the mic. Welcome. But let's just be brief because we have overrun quite a little bit of this.
Absolutely. Hi, Herbert. Hi, Billing. Hope you're well. This is Ziad speaking. I actually won a grant from ICP last year, as I am the first e-learning platform in the MENA region in Arabic, and we're based out of Dubai, UAE. We were glad to be working with you in the past and develop courses in Arabic to be able to let the people and my community know more about ICP. And actually, I was wondering, I've heard you've actually chosen Crypto Oasis lately as, let's say, the hub of the MENA region. And I'm wondering how I can support them, or maybe you can consider me instead, because I mean, I've been working on with ICP and on ICP for a long time, for the past, let's say, year, and I would really like to explore more areas of collaboration. Thank you.
I'm going to take this. Thank you very much for stepping up and propose yourself. This is the spirit we want to see around our communities. So this is more pertinent to the global regional hubs. There are ways to cooperate and to realize your vision for MENA. I suggest you reach out to me on Twitter. My inbox is open, and we can set a call and find synergies for that. But definitely welcome to propose your strategies for the region. Of course, in cooperation with our regional hub over there.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Emilio. I will be doing that. And yeah.
Yes, please reach out. We'll speak soon.
Yep, absolutely. Nice to meet you again, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ikura. Thank you, Emilio. All right, okay. So now we're really going to switch into Chinese. All right then. OK， 那我下面想邀请呢 Billy 呢跟大家分享一下我们的 ICP 生态最近发生的一些这个重大的一些活动啊，也让大家就是说预告一下未来会发生的一些这个社区的活动。OK， Billy 要么我们可以稍微讲快一点的，我们这个今天时间是比较长一点，然后待会儿 Vincent 还需要分享一下，还有 Ben。
好的。在我们国内6月6号，我们有一个 IC1101的 Demo Day， 有一个 ICP 的分会场，希望邀请 IC 上的一些项目一起来参与。如果有兴趣在 IC 分会场展示的，都可以联系我。只需要准备项目的一个海报给到我就可以了。然后6月17号到18号，就是上一次我们也提过的，我们在上海主办的 Rust 开发者大会。在上海主办的 Rust 开发者大会，我们会邀请了我们美国 R&D 的同事。叫陈野来分享有关 Candy 的一些内容。那陈野他也很难得来到上海做这个演讲，所以如果有开发者想和陈野单独交流学习的话，也可以联系到我。然后也欢迎大家就是参与这个 Rust 开发者大会来我们的展位跟我们聊天。然后在
陈野，那补充一下，陈野他做了一个很有名的 application， 就是这个 Motoko Playground。就因为我们在 IC 生态的话，我们自己创了一个语言叫 Motoko， 对吧？这个 Motoko 的话，对很多开发者的话呢，一开始还是需要经历过一个学习的过程，然后很多人都发现，这个工具叫 Motoko Playground， 其实是这是一个 browser based 的一个工具，是有像个沙盘一样，沙盒的话可以帮助大家很快的 get started。那这个就是陈野他做的，所以是个他对这个不管是Rust 还是 Motoko 都是首屈一指的专家。
对，如果所以有开发者如果愿意跟他单独交流学习，可以跟我们联系，我们可以帮你约上他。然后在总部这块呢，5月19号、23号，Dom 在 Econ 做了一个 Econ 那个在黑山做了一个演讲。然后接下来呢，6月17号到20号，Dom 也还会再一次去到巴黎，以太坊的一个 Community Conference， 给以太最大的一个社区做宣传。然后这两个都比较重大的吧，就是 Dom 会参与的一个 keynote speech， 基本上就是这样子。
好，谢谢 Billy。好，那下面请 Vincent from R&D 团队也给我们介绍一下，最近这2个礼拜，就自从我们的 episode number 5，我们的 R&D 团队在我们的这个 ICP 的路线图上有哪些方面有比较重大的一些 feature release 或者是 major update？
好的，可以听到我讲话了，赫本。
可以的，说吧。
好，那我就因为时间比较晚了，我就快一点吧。我先回顾一下上期的几个问题吧。就是上期有开发者群里面问了几个问题，我先回。第一个是问的是 ICRC Ledger 里面的 cycles 如果烧完了会怎么样？资产会消失吗？首先 ICRC 这个 ICRC Ledger 的也就是跑在普通的 Canis 里面，所以它的 cycles 也会烧完，跟一般的 Canis 一样，它的cycle 烧完之后它就会被 freeze， 就里面的内容会保持30天。如果30天之后还没有充值的话，那它就会被删除。但是 Canis 的 ID 啊，包括 controllers 等信息会保存10年。这些具体的详细信息在 IC 的那个接口文档规范里面都能找得到。第二个就是问到了，就 CKBTC 能不能看到 BTC 的交易记录
？Vincent， 你说那个 Vincent， 你说那个 controller 和什么样的信息可以保存10年呢
？Canis 的 ID 啊，这些的。
Canis 的 ID 那这个里面的这些数据，比如它有一篇文章。有一个 JPEG， 这个数据就没法再保存10年了吧？
这个数据只会保存30天。
OK， 好，明白。
对。然后第二个就是 CKBTC 能不能看到 BTC 的交易记录？这里面我们要区分一下，就是BTC 整合 BTC 集成和 CKBTC 的区别。首先，第一是 BTC 集成是在 IC 的协议层来完成的，通过 Management Canis 提供相应的 API。包括这些 API， 包括你能根据比特币的地址去查询 UXTO， 能够查询它的账户的余额，能够发起转账。但 CKBTC 是另外一个，它是一个代币，是基于 BTC 集成来开发的。那社区也可以有自己的实现，比如说 IC Lighthouse 就基于这个 BTC 集成做了 ICBTC， 所以这是2个概念。然后再一个问题就是 ICRC Ledger 的 Rosetta API 的集成进展如何？目前的 Rosetta API 的集成优先级调低了，基金会目前是关注在 DEX 的集成方面，所以重心呢放在了 Index Canis 的上。好，然后
但我这里补充一下的话，就当这个在 OpenChat 3月份上线的时候，社区大家很多人也很关心，都觉得下一个比较重要。就是这个 Rosetta 的 API。因为因为这个只有
Herbert， 你这边卡了，听不到。
Herbert 听不到你讲话，卡的。
那 Vincent 继续吧。
行，要不我继续吧。回答了上周的几个问题之后，那今天我主要有2个方面2个事情想跟大家 update。第一个是关于 SNS 的。SNS 第一个就是 One Proposal Change。这个目前的话 ，SNS 如果你要想启动一个 SNS， 需要提交2个 NNS Proposal。第一个 Proposal 来授权一个 Principal 来安装 SNS Canis 的。第二个 Proposal 是比较重要的，是用来开始 SNS 的发布，包括DApp 的去中心化和 Decentralization Swap。那基金会目前想简化这个流程只需要发起1个提案，这样的话就可以减少大家的麻烦。这个改动还在开发中，等到有了具体时间表，我在后续的 ICP Monday 来跟大家分享。另外一个就是 restrictions 就是在 SNS 开发的功能对SNS swap 参与进行一些限制。第一个是geo restrictions， 也就是地理位置限制。有一些项目希望能够将某些国家或者地区排除出 SNS 的发售，那我们就提供了一个方案，就是允许提案指定地理位置限制。然后在 SNS Launchpad 的前端界面会通过 IP 来限制指定的区域。再一个就是确认信息，就是每一个 SNS 可以定义一些规则，也就是可读的文本。用户必须要在你最开始第一次，比如说你选择你的账户和你有多少 amount 需要来参与这个 SNS swap 的时候，那用户必须要确认这些信息，确认这些规则。这两个限制功能应该这周或者下周就会上线。另外一个就是我们的 Internet Identity II 更新了。这次的 II 的更新幅度还比较大。首先它从3个方面，第一是简化了上手的流程。我们差不多从原来的10个步骤，就是你如果想要注册一个